A few weeks ago, we tested a Tahoe RST with the 20-inch wheels and RST performance upgrades on our highway fuel economy test, and it beat its EPA rating by 3 miles per gallon. So, with this Yukon Denali Ultimate sporting a little bit of extra equipment, but the 22-inch wheels and no performance upgrades, can we achieve a similar result? Let's go find out. Hey everybody, it's Charlie from Daily Motor, and today we've got the real-world highway fuel economy test on the 2023 GMC Yukon Denali Ultimate. In this test, we're going to head out on the highway and do 50 miles out and 50 miles back, averaging 70 miles per hour, to get you a realistic fuel economy number for this luxurious full-size SUV. Before we get started, let's hop out and take a look at it. Now, admittedly, in full disclosure, we already ran the test. But we got a new GoPro, and I was trying out some new settings on the GoPro, and I'm really not happy with the way the video quality ended up. So I am going to go from here to our actual testing experience, and we're going to show you all. The rest of the video is going to be recorded live, if you will. But just know that the footage isn't fantastic for a good portion of it, so I wanted to get this all out of the way here in some nice sunshine. If you do want to see more on the Yukon, check the links in the description. We've got our normal review, which I'm just about to shoot now, a review of the 18-speaker Bose Performance Series audio system, and an infotainment breakdown. All the links to those below are below. They're right here in the description if you scroll or scroll with your thumb. They're there. So why do we do this test? Well, the EPA's highway fuel economy test, which gives this Yukon 18 miles per gallon, that test only averages 48 miles per hour. We know there are plenty of people who put big miles on their vehicles and would like to know what sort of number you can realistically expect here in the real world. So in order to test that out, we're going to head over to the gas station here, fill up, go out and do 100 miles, come back, fill up at the same pump using the same 3-click fueling method, and get a result. Now, a few things to note for today. The outside temperature is currently 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Our tire pressures have been set to their door placard 35 psi cold, and we're going to run the climate control at 73 degrees auto. For the 6.2 liter, it does say premium fuel is recommended. Now, if it were just me and I were going out cruising on the highway, I would not be putting premium in it. I'd just be running regular, and I think it would do just fine. However, I do know that this tank is filled with premium already, so even if I put regular in it here, it wouldn't exactly be a regular fill. So I'm going to put premium in, but just know that I think it would do just fine on regular. 7.137 gallons going in for our first fill. Before we actually start the engine, we're going to reset the GPS and our trip computer. Get our climate control set at 73 auto, and we're ready to begin. We do have a few different drive modes here in the Yukon. We've got normal, sport, off-road, and tow haul, as well as a few different four-wheel drive modes: auto, 2 high, 4 high, and 4 low. We're going to run this test in normal mode with 2 high for the transfer case. We're going to head over to the highway. It's about 0.2 miles away, and pick up the test from there. Now, the goal of this test isn't to hypermile. We're not trying to squeeze the best possible fuel economy out of this, but rather find a realistic number. So in order to do that, we're going to get up to highway speed here at a reasonable pace and set our cruise control at a GPS indicated 71 miles per hour. It should give us a 70 mile per hour average over the test. And one of the reasons I'm particularly curious to run this test is just a week and a half ago, we had the Chevy Tahoe with the 6.2, and that was the RST package, which gave us 2-inch smaller wheels and a cold air intake and an exhaust, a little bit of extra power, and that actually achieved 21 MPG. So I'm really curious if we're going to see that same sort of number here with the Yukon. Getting up to GPS indicated 71. Looks like the car is reading about a mile per hour high. So we're going to set in at 72 to give us 71 on the GPS. I do wish there were a way to view how our dynamic fuel management is activating. If we're running on all 8 cylinders or if we're dropping down to 4 or 2 at any given point. The older trucks, you could see that. And I don't know. I haven't been able to figure out a way to see that here in these newer ones. We do also have Super Cruise in this Denali Ultimate, so that's going to make the trip a little smoother. Now, typically I'm a big fan of Super Cruise, however, I did take this on a commute earlier this week, and it kept losing the lanes. It was a very clearly marked highway. It was this highway, in fact, and about 6 times it disengaged Super Cruise and said unable to see the lanes, but then it would come back about 30 seconds later. So let me know if any of you have Super Cruise and if you've had that sort of issue before, because that was a bit frustrating. Usually Super Cruise works really well. But we're going to continue on with the test here and catch up with you at the end. In the meantime, enjoy this time lapse of the entire trip. Coming into the end of the highway fuel economy test here in the Yukon Denali Ultimate. Was a mostly smooth test. Unfortunately, we did get a slowdown right there near the end here due to construction, so it did bring us down, dropped our average speed a bit, and I think it's going to negatively affect the fuel economy a little because of having to get on brakes and then accelerate back up to highway speeds here. But it's been a smooth test, and this one is doing even better than the Tahoe we tested the other week. Right now we're looking at 21.3 MPG, according to the vehicle's trip computer. If I remember correctly, is about a half mile per gallon better on the readout than we had in the Tahoe. So maybe the secret sauce wasn't the performance upgrades on the Tahoe RST. Maybe this 6.2 just is that good on the highway, and the EPA just doesn't recognize it properly. Maybe not testing it properly. Maybe there's a conspiracy with the EPA wanting to add smaller motors and turbochargers. I don't know. But either way, this is a nice highway cruiser. If you're going to be in a big body on frame SUV munching miles, then having Super Cruise and an 18-speaker Bose sound system are two good things to have. But we're going to get it back to the pump here, fill up, and see what our calculated number is, and get our results. 4.574 gallons going in for our final fill. 100 miles traveled divided by 4.574 is giving us 21.9 miles per gallon. So again, just like the Tahoe, a little bit higher than the vehicle's trip readout, but a solid 1 mile per gallon more than that truck, and 4 miles per gallon better than EPA. That's significant. It really is, cruising here at 70 miles per hour. Nicely done, 6.2. You continue to impress. We've got a 24-gallon fuel tank in here, so 24 gallons times the 22 miles per gallon is giving you an effective highway cruising range of 520 miles here in the GMC Yukon Denali Ultimate. So, I guess the 22-inch wheels aren't hurting you too bad, and all the weight of these screens and wood and cow, it's a nice place to be. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.